Hello, my dear friends, and a wonderful day to you. It is time to gather again. I had made a promise that I'm going to check in with you weekly for the next couple of weeks, and so here we are, and I'm going to complete and continue with the journey that I promised last week about tapping into the 5 areas of our lives to create balance and wholeness between all the areas that we get to serve in, because ultimately we are made of many parts. We are part of multiple systems, and there are different roles that we are playing. And especially in the holiday season, it comes out pretty strongly in the obligations that we have in making sure that all the people around us are taken care of, as well as taking care of ourselves, which sometimes might be falling a little short. So that's what I definitely want to help you tonight with some inspiration, with some insights, and also then some tools that I would like to share with you that you can use here over those next few weeks. So this is coming to a closure for the year of 2023, and then looking into the next year. It's all coming together right now. Plus, of course, having the holiday season in whatever way you're celebrating that with your loved ones or with yourself and in your business, with your pets, with your traveling, whatever comes into your life right now, because I know this is a pretty busy time for all of us. And so that is my intent in sharing some resources with you that are going to be useful for you, okay? The other thing that's very important tonight is to also reach out to all the people who are hurting right now. We have a few people in our very close friendship circle who are dealing with health issues. And so I'm definitely very specifically holding space tonight for our dear friend Lynn, who many of you know personally. You love her dearly. She's been part of our journey for over 3 decades now, and also some other people who are dealing with health issues as well as some other issues in their lives. And so we just really want to spread the love and open our hearts to everybody who needs some extra energy today, because we do understand the power of intention. We do understand the power of circles. We do understand the power of prayer. And because we are all entangled and we are all part of that quantum field, there is a lot we can do for our friends who are hurting right now. Okay, so that is definitely a very big intent that I'm holding here today, that those people know that they are loved, that they are supported, that we're there for you in whatever capacity you need us, and especially right now energetically, that we are holding space for you and holding you in wholeness, in love, in support, that you know that you're not alone on this journey. So anybody that you also have in your life right now, anybody who's tuning in either live or over this next few days, please put those people in your heart as well, and know that we are here for you and that we're energetically supporting you and holding space for you. I remember a child many years ago, that's a story I actually read in a book, who had diabetes. And the family was advised to simply hold space for the child and keep visualizing, it was a boy, that he was healthy, that he had overcome diabetes, that he was actually experiencing a miraculous healing. And over time, this child just got better and better. And he literally healed from the disease of diabetes over time, was able to let it go simply by his family believing and praying and holding space for him. And I know for some people that's a very challenging concept. You're like, oh, that's very woo and out there. Well, I told that story to one of my clients many years ago, whose child had a very severe milk allergy. And because there was still milk in the household and cheese and other milk products, dairy products, the person simply could not completely eliminate the access to dairy to their child. And the kid was about 4 or 5 years old at that time. And once in a while, he would get into some dairy, and then they had to rush him to the hospital. Severe things would be happening. And I remember the mother was really distraught when she had that session with me many years ago. So we did some proxy work, because the kid was not in a conscious understanding yet of what his disease was, the illness he was dealing with, and being able to make choices about it. And so we did the proxy work where the mother stepped into the shoes of the child and then did the work for him. And she explored family patterns, she explored ancestral patterns, she did the positive intent work of what was the gift ultimately in what was going on in that family system, and so on and so on. And I followed her for several years, and we would check in with each other because I was really interested in the outcome that she was able to create, and the child too was able over time to be okay with then consuming dairy and not having those issues anymore. So that's the kind of story that I just find absolutely miraculous. And especially if you now follow Bruce Lipton and his work, what's going on with epigenetics, what's going on with the placebo effect, what's going on with human consciousness and what we're learning right now. It is absolutely fascinating what we can create in our minds and then the ramifications that can have in our lives. And so that's, I know, the work that Lynn is also really subscribed to. So I'm holding space for you that you are able to tap into that super conscious, ultimately into the quantum field, really feel our energy that we're holding for you and everybody else who's currently recovering from some kind of an illness. So everybody, please hold your intent right now for our friends that are hurting, that are suffering, that need some extra energy and some extra help. And there might be people in your family as well, in your circle of friends, that of course we also include in the sacred circle right now. I have one more story that just came to my mind, and that took place in the Sugar House Library. Remember when we met there many years ago, when I did my free seminars there, and we had such beautiful circles there. And one of our friends, he had a newborn grandson in a different state, and he was not able to travel there, and the child had a heart defect, and they did not know if the newborn baby would survive. And so we also did a circle for that child, and then he made sure that he would let us know that everything turned out well with his grandson, and the child was then thriving. You guys, open just a small corner of your mind to these kind of possibilities for anything that you would like to have different in your own life, for any kind of diseases, illnesses, chronic pain, perhaps that you're dealing with personally, loved family members, people in your community, and then see what unfolds. Because the right thing always happens. That which is meant to be always happens. And if it's meant to be for us to heal and to thrive, then that's what we will attract. So I hope that is useful to some of you and the things that you're currently dealing with. And we're going to visit our friends again at the end of our time together today. And everything else that I'm sharing right now, take that also into consideration and see how that is going to be useful for you and your loved ones, okay? Got some awesome feedback from last time about the idea of the thinking that we're doing is more than just the words that are cruising through our minds. It's also the voice quality that we're using. I know that I'm attracting the perfect circumstances for where I'm at in my life right now. I understand that there is a bigger plan that I am part of, and I fully give myself into trusting that. And saying that with a nice, upbeat, loving voice tone that is inspirational, that is passionate, that is exciting, versus, oh, I trust the universe. That's the stuff that we need to let go of in order to create different experiences. So any kind of woe is me, I'm just a victim, there's no choice, there's nothing I can do about it, will reflect in your voice tone. It will reflect in the energy that you're putting into the words that you're saying. The same thing with the pictures that you're making, that you make powerful, enticing, inviting pictures and movies about the things that you want to have happen. So for example, in this big trip that I'm planning right now, which all of a sudden it's going to be in 12 days that I'm embarking on this trip, and I'm going to be gone for a couple of months, and I have some very certain goals that I want to fulfill during that time. And I'm picturing that. I'm putting this into a very beautiful, enticing movie. It's a very beautiful story. It's very colorful, and it's very inviting to me in the way that I'm visually representing that right now. And I'm not going to make it drab pictures and, oh gosh, I hope it's going to work out. And And I'm just having some kind of still shots in my mind when I'm visualizing it, because we're always making pictures, we're always making movies in our minds, and we need to become consciously aware of the quality of those pictures and movies. Do you want them to have a nice saturation and be very vibrant and inviting to you, or are they just drab still shots of like, oh gosh, this might work out and that might not, and I just don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen either, and yet I'm putting out very colorful, saturated, inviting pictures in my mind right now, because I understand that what I'm putting out there is going to be matched by the universe. And so having that very colorful, inviting kind of movie that is very stimulating to my brain is going to aid to the manifestations I will be able to have. And it's going to show up in the quality of the pictures, of the people I will attract, the quality of the experiences I will attract. And then I say very inviting things to myself in my happy voice tone. Things always turn out better than expected. I'm going to have some great adventures that I can't even imagine yet. I'm going to meet some amazing people that I'm really looking forward to hanging out with. I'm going to experience amazing circumstances and adventures that I'm going to thrive on for many years to come. So, those are the kind of things that I'm saying to myself while I'm making the enticing pictures and movies in my head, while I'm also molding my physiology to have that empowerment, because we understand when we stand up more straight, when we put our shoulders back, we have good access to our gestures. We are flowing and free in our gestures. We open our eyes and we're looking at life with excitement. When I'm putting a smile on my face, all of those components will aid and add to my overall experience. The feeling state that we have is a composite of the pictures we're making, the things we're saying to ourselves with the voice tone, our breathing patterns, our physiology, our gestures, our smile. All of that together becomes what we call an emotion. So, joy, peace, trust, all of these emotions are a conglomerate of what you're thinking in the form of the pictures, the sounds, and the body posture. Okay, so that's what I dedicated our last gathering to. And you can scroll just down in my wall and see it right there. I also post it on YouTube so you can see it there. And then today we're going to talk about using that information in the different areas of our life. So when you are now planning those next few weeks and how you would like for the rest of December to flow, the energy that you want to take into 2024, that's ultimately what this is about. What is the energy that you want to hold over those next few weeks of everything that's going on in your life, all the obligations that you're having, all the things that you're currently planning for yourself and for your families? I know a lot of you guys are the person who is usually in charge of making sure that everybody's taken care of and all the food is on the table and all the Christmas gifts are wrapped in everything that you guys are doing in your own lives and however you're celebrating it, that your animals are taken care of, your loved ones, and then the outreach into the larger community and things that you are contributing to your larger community, that it's all taken care of. While you're taking care of yourself, please don't forget that. And doing all of that with joy, with trust that everything is going to fall into place, that you're going to be at the right time, at the right place, with the right people, doing the right thing, and that everything is just going to flow. Just imagine that right now for yourself, how all of that is going to naturally unfold, that you feel supported, that you're able to ask for help, that you're in the flow. And then all of that is going to lead into you sitting there on the 31st of December, and you can toast, you can give a quick little prayer of thanks, you can set your intent, and then you flow into the new year going, you know what? I'm so grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for the support I have. I'm so grateful for the people in my life. I'm so grateful for everything that I got to experience in 2023. And I'm so looking forward to 2024. My heart is full with gratitude. And one of the things that's getting reiterated again and again and again, and I heard it again today, to be grateful for everything. That it's not just the good times where, like, oh yeah, look at me, look at the success I had here, look at the wonderful things I created there. That we're able to truly have gratitude for everything that happened to us during that year. Talked to a friend the other day. His grandma is 110 years old. Then he shared with me that he had a conversation with her, asking her, hey, grandma, what do you think is the secret of life? What is the secret of your longevity? How did you do it? And she said, being grateful for everything that happened. And I know that's a pretty high, lofty goal for us when we first think about that and go, oh man, seriously, you want me to be grateful for this? You want me to be grateful for that? And ultimately, when you do look back 10 years from now into what happened in 2023 or what happened over those last few years, and you can truly say, you know what, as crazy as it sounds and as much as it didn't make sense at that time, I'm grateful that it happened. I'm grateful for the lessons I learned. I'm grateful for who I became because of the challenges and the opportunities and the problems and the issues and the wonderful messages that I got. I'm grateful for all of it. And I'm looking back over my, what is it now? 31 years. It's going to be 32 years here in a couple of weeks that I have been in America. And there was some hardship along the way. There were tough times. There were times where I worried and times where I doubted and times where I'm like, what am I doing here? What is this supposed to be? And now, wholeheartedly, I'm looking back on it going grateful for everything. I couldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation with you if I hadn't gone through it, and everything that I've learned and who I was able to become, the values I was able to accept into my life, the lessons, the insights, the inspiration, and the beliefs that I now get to have. And I'm looking so much forward to those next few decades of my life that I'm currently creating proactively with more consciousness, with more knowledge, with more values, with more of a idea of who I am and what I'm standing for and what my purpose is and the meaning of life, what I get to do with it and the mission that I get to fulfill and the connection that I have with my higher power, the connection I have with my community, with my family, my global family that I get to visit again. I'm so grateful for that. Didn't see that coming a few months ago. That just fell into my lap, how everything is unfolding right now. And I will definitely keep you guys in contact and let you know what's going on in the adventure that I'm experiencing and what I'm learning during that time, because that's what it boils down to for me. Always the student, always the student, always got my student hat on, learning more, learning deeper, going deeper into the learning experience. So put all of that on yourself right now and step into that as well, that you can give that to yourself fully and completely. And I know some of you have some hardship that you're dealing with right now, and to be able to look at that right now, and it might not be possible for you right now, this very moment, you're like, oh, I can't believe she's saying that. And I know there will be the time in your life when you are able to look back and say, okay, I can be grateful that it happened. And I now understand why it happened and what it meant for my journey that I'm on in this lifetime. So that's what I'm holding space for you as well right now. And especially as you are in that joyful holiday celebration and looking forward to a new year of new opportunities, new learning, new growth, and transformation. So let's make sure that we are taking a very well rounded approach to all of that and look at it holistically, because you need to start with yourself. That's the person you are ultimately responsible for, and who you can change the most, and who you can attach to the most, and really be in charge of. The person you have power over, control over, is you, and how you treat yourself, how you treat your thoughts, how you treat your emotions, how you treat your body. And that's usually what we equate with health. So for right now, I would like for you to step into that and really give yourself, make a wish to the universe right now. Make a wish for yourself and what you would like to experience with health over these next few weeks, What would you like to let go of? What would you like to bring in to this new year? And simply make a statement, a declaration, and send that into the universe as a wish. Make it a commitment to yourself. I'm going to take excellent care of myself. I make sure that I spend some time with myself every day to center myself, to give my gratitude, to pray, to meditate, to journal, whatever it is for you that makes you happy. A big part of me, for me, is my crafts, my art, my relaxation time, just vegging. You might call it vegging. I call it meditation. I have this beautiful sand picture that's actually sitting right behind my computer here that I love to look at. And it makes me happy. It's a meditation tool. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. My family gave that to me several Christmases ago. I've had sand pictures for many, many, many years. This is my latest version. I love it so much. And that's one of my meditation tools. It's one of my happy tools. It's been with me for many, many years. One of those beautiful gifts that keeps on giving. And that's one of the ways that I practice happiness, gratitude. I just watch the sand trickle down, creating different shapes. It's different every single time. You can never predict what it's going to bring. And it's about the process. It takes about half an hour. So I do a couple of those a day. And sometimes I just have it sitting there while I'm writing emails. And then I see that it's gone down and then turn it around, start over again. So that is a tool that I get to enjoy on a daily basis that helps me to inform my thinking, my feeling, my body. It gets me into a meditative state. It gets me into a great gratitude state. And that's just one of the many tools that I allow myself. Right now, I'm crazy about theta state. So I'm actually looking at my YouTube and I had my theta video running for 10 hours today. I literally go to bed with it. I put it on so it goes through the whole night. In the morning, I repeat it again or I go into a different video. I love those VR videos. I got into the one that is the Roman bath, and then they have the witches study, they have the alchemist study, the astronomer study, they have the paradise bath and all that. Just check it out. VR Roman bath. Start there, and then it's gonna take you down a rabbit hole you can't even imagine yet. Of just videos with beautiful sceneries and very beautiful music. And those are all things that we can choose to expose ourselves to. And actually, it's one of the things that I just remembered today. I was like, this was one of my outcomes a few months ago because I had this bad habit of going into my phone, going into my internet, and then I go into msn.com or yahoo.com or whatever and start looking at news and celebrity news and what's going on in pop culture and whatever. And then it would just drag me down and I would stumble upon stories I didn't want to see and news I didn't want to hear about. And I'm informed. I want to be informed. I don't want to be inundated. I don't want 90% of my attention and my focus to be on what's going out in the world and then being dragged down by it because that is not conducive to my happiness and my way of being in this world, which is to hold the light and to be a grounding component in helping us to have hope and knowing that we can transform. That is my job. That is my mission in this lifetime. And not to be the maven who runs around and, oh, did you know about this? Did you know about that? Which I used to do, but it also dragged me down. So now I know that I'm much more powerful in the energy that I'm sending into the universe, into the collective consciousness by holding the light of hope and for healing and forgiveness and gratitude. I hope that makes sense and that you can identify with that for yourself as well. And you give yourself permission to be the calm force, the calm power of peace and happiness, gratitude, joy, compassion. So ask yourself, what is the energy that I want to project? And what are the things that I'm surrounding myself with that help me to do that? And that ultimately is going to be your own mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. So that is one area that I would like for you to pay some attention to and make a declaration and a wish that you send out, okay? And then think about your abundance. How abundant do you feel right now with what you have? And it's not about how much you have, it is about how you feel about that. And there have times in my life when I had a lot more money, so to say, and I felt less abundant than I do now, because I do feel plugged in to the abundance of the universe. Looking at those many grains of sand, for example, in my sand picture, that must be millions of little sand grains that are trickling down. And when you really look at it, there is everything we ever need is all around us and within us, because we do have access to all the resources in the universe. So it's about that feeling that we have about I am abundant with what I have. And I'm so grateful. I have mentioned that before. When I shower, I thank the water. It's about being grateful for the food that we get to eat. And not just, oh, I can't even remember eating. I had that so many times. I couldn't even remember eating. I wasn't enjoying it while I was doing it because I was thinking about stuff. I was doing stuff while I was eating. Or I was so engrossed in conversation that I didn't even pay attention. Like, how did my plate get empty? Can't even remember. Because there was no consciousness. There was no gratitude in that moment. And really tasting each morsel of food I was putting in my mouth. The same with drinking water or a tea or a coffee. I love my eggnog latte. It's one of my happiness factors. And I love to show it. Got my elf mug. So those are those little things that make me happy, and that I truly use as anchors in my environment to stimulate the thoughts that are going through my mind, the pictures that I'm making. I can visualize the elf right in front of me, and then also what I'm doing with my body. Breathing is another very important piece. So feel that abundance that you already have. And when you are grateful for what you have, more will come. So to not feel abundant is actually so counterproductive to the holidays and the energy that you want to take into 2024. So please practice abundance by being grateful for what you already have. And I really hope that everybody here is sitting in a warm place. You have friends, you feel love, you do have food in your fridge, you do feel taken care of by the universe. That is my greatest wish for you, that you have that physically in your life. And if you're lacking any of that right now, please reach out to your community. There are many people there who love you, who want to support you. And being able to reach out for help is so important. Blessed be. And that goes directly into relationships. Give thanks for the relationships that you have right now. Think of the people right now in your mind. Just create that group right now of the people that you love dearly in your life. And some of those people might have already moved on, and I personally believe they're still there with us in spirit. So give thanks for them and whatever relationship you're able to have with them right now. And that relationship might actually intensify and get better over time. Forgiveness that needs to be given for yourself or others, that you need to receive from them, deepening your relationship with them, getting more intimate, expressing more gratitude, and being present with them. That's another thing I missed out on in the past. Such a busy mind, always thinking about other stuff, even when other people were talking or sharing something profound with me, and then bringing myself back again and again, learning to truly, truly be present with them. Being in situations at parties or in certain organizations where I missed half of the conversations because I was just so busy berating myself in my own mind, wondering if I was good enough, wondering if I belonged, versus simply being present, engaging in that conversation, being an active listener, fully stepping into that person's reality and really taking that on and experiencing it from their point of view. That is my joy now in relationships, to truly understand where another person comes from as much as I can. Stepping into their shoes, experiencing reality from their point of view, understanding the point that they're making, celebrating with them, being there for them empathically. So think about that right now, and how would you like to play that out over those next few weeks, especially when this time is so much about togetherness. Who you are going to spend time with, what you're going to do with them, how do you want to how do you want to contribute to the people in your life? What are the gifts you would like to share with them? I'm talking about the spiritual gifts, the listening gifts, the being there for them gifts, the support gifts. What kind of gifts would you like to give them on all of those levels? All right. And then what do you want to take into the new year? Perhaps that is another wish that you would like to make right now. And one of the wishes that I've been carrying in my heart, one of my affirmations that I've been affirming for quite some time now, is all of my relationships are deeply fulfilling. That covers it. That's a beautiful blanket affirmation. It makes me happy. It nails it. That's it. All of my relationships are deeply fulfilling. Beautiful. And then everything can fall under that umbrella. And it doesn't matter if it's someone that I love dearly, who is right there in my inner circle, I get to deal with every day, or it's someone I meet on the street and we're just having a conversation. I went shopping earlier, ran into one of my wonderful acquaintances that I like very much. We had such a beautiful 5-minute conversation, and I left so I got to see her. That's so much fun. And I know she felt the same way. We were both just elated that we ran into each other and that we got to have that conversation. That was absolutely beautiful. Or reaching out to a friend tonight, like my friend Lynn, and holding her in my heart. And even so, she's multiple states away from me, and over, I think it's 1,000 miles, it probably is like 600-700 miles easily, that she is away from us right here in southern Utah. And still, in my heart, I can sit right next to her at her hospital bed, holding her hand, whispering words of encouragement into her ears, and just being there for her. That's the power that we have, even when we're far away from each other. So please give that to yourself, even with family members that you're not able to be with right now, that you have that connection with them. Give yourself that. You deserve it. And they do too. And then imagine having those sweet conversations with them. I'm not going to be able to see my grandkids for a couple of months once I'm traveling. And I'm already programming things in my own mind, in their minds, about how Oma is going to be there. And she can always think of me. She can always send wishes to me. And we're going to have some special things because her name is Clover, for example, that I'm going to give her a little clover. And every time that she needs a little Oma connection, she can think of it and she can hold it. Those are the kind of things that we can already program into our future, that we are there for each other, that we can connect with each other. Yeah. So give yourself that, okay? And then let's all of that flow into your vocation, your legacy, what you're doing for a living. Imagine how that all flows beautifully over those next few weeks and fully supports the festivities, your family time. Feel that work-life balance. Just imagine it flowing together beautifully. There's nothing to worry about. And give yourself the gift of being happy about what you get to do. And I know a lot of people aren't. And we're just exchanging money and time. And I wish so much for you that you get to go to work with a full heart and feeling it to be your vocation. That's one of the words I love so much in German, is erschaffen and eine Erschaffung. It's actually a creation, which is the word for work. So just imagine that your work is your creation. That's the place where you get to create and be creative. And give yourself that no matter what your work is right now, and as meaningless you find it perhaps, or what a drain it is on your energy, give yourself that idea that you are doing the right thing right now. You are meant to do this right now. And then there might be something else on the horizon. And what would that be? What would you like to create? And why haven't you done it yet? Those are the kind of questions that I find extremely intriguing. And I've been there. I'm talking absolutely from experience because I've done a lot of jobs in my life that I felt absolutely meaningless and wondering what am I doing. And I knew at some point they were stepping stones for what I get to do now. And even in this beautiful vocation that I get to call my calling and my mission, I still do things that I'm not hot about. One of the things that I'm preparing before I go are my taxes. That's the stuff I love to put at the bottom of my pile. And anything that has to do with logistics and figuring out stuff on the computer. And there's still this one email I have to send off. And yeah, I've been pushing that for a good 2 weeks about my website where something is not working correctly. And I'm like, and every time I think about it, there it is. And I promise I will do it before the holidays. It's going to be taken care of. It's actually on my to-do list right here in front of me. And so, yeah, there are things too where I'm like not hot about. And I'm like, dang it, why do I have to do this? And it's part of the big picture. And I'm so grateful that I get to do this, that this is the vocation I have. And then this is one piece of it that I happen to not like. Oh, well, so be it. So please give yourself that. Give yourself that overall okayness where you're at. And if you really have such a disdain for what you're doing, you need to ask yourself, why am I still doing this to myself? And why am I not doing what I want to do? And that usually leads us to our bigger belief system. That's exactly the work that I do with my clients, to figure out what is this deeper meaning that you're still fulfilling by living this life. If this is a lifestyle that really doesn't fit you. And that, by the way, leads us into our fifth section. So to finish up the career block, the vocation, the calling, the mission, the legacy, if you are not happy long term with what you're doing, please make 2024 your year to make some changes. Either change your attitude because you understand that that's what you need to do and that's what's in your life right now. So enjoy it, because otherwise you just make yourself miserable. And if there is a possibility that you can do more studying, you can do evening school, you can do YouTube tutorials, anything. We have access to everything nowadays. If I want to know something, I just Google it. First thing I'm going to do is type it in, see what's up, and find ways to find that happiness because you deserve it. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to me to spend another year doing something I absolutely despise? So that is for those of you who really have a discrepancy and a mismatch between your calling, your talents, your innate talents, and what you're actually putting out there into the world for a paycheck. Okay? If that's the case, please, please reach out for help and see what can be done to help you get you on the right track. And for those of you who already know what you're doing and you love what you're doing, celebrate it, maximize it, and give thanks for it every single day that you are so lucky that you get to do what you love doing. And then how can you bump it up? How can you make it even better? How can you serve even more people? How can you increase the happiness at your work environment even more? So wherever you're at right now in your life, please put this out there for 2024 that it's going to be a major quantum leap for you in your professional development. Okay? So, and then that all leads to lifestyle. I like to wrap it around the rest of the other four quadrants because ultimately lifestyle is how do you spend your time? What do you spend your time doing? So one of the crazy things that happened for me lately is I'm waking up way early. Most of the time I'm up between 5 and 5:30. I wake up, I look at my clock, I'm like, yep, right around 5 o'clock. Wow. But the crazy thing is I'm awake. I'm like, you wake up and your eyes are opening. You're like, okay, I'm obviously not going back to sleep again. my theta music is playing or some other wonderful meditation music, then usually I put on some Esther Hicks. Love her morning rampage. I'm getting videos that my clients, my students, my friends send me. Hey, Christiane, check this out. Got one from my dear friend Julie again that I still need to listen to. So those are the kind of things that I immediately expose myself to. Or because I had a really fun dream and my dreams have been phenomenal lately, I write them down. I want to remember my dreams. I love to look at dreams and see what the symbology is. And so that's my beginning of the day. And then several glasses of water, one with turmeric, and then I'm either going for a coffee with some fluffy milk, something, cashew, almond, whatever product in it, and or tea. And that's the first hour. Then I have some kind of gatherings or some kind of meditation. Something goes on. I went to meditation again this morning, got to take Clover. That's my greatest happiness, to have this beautiful little 3-year-old sitting on my lap for half an hour and meditating with us just quietly. And once in a while, I open an eye and glimpse at her, and she's just looking at me with big eyes and just smiling. That's my favorite meditation, having that little sweetheart with me. And so those are the kind of things that over time I created for myself because it's important. It's my happiness. It's how I feed myself. And that's something that I finally learned. So those of you who really say, I don't have time for that, please look at how you do spend your time when you're not working, when you're not creating, when you're not cooking, when you're not cleaning. Are you just vegging on TikTok? Are you just watching meaningless videos? And you know what? Sometimes I do watch shorts because there are certain people that I follow that make me laugh. I have this one guy, he does dog videos that are absolutely hilarious. Then I have this other guy, oh my gosh, I don't even know what his name is. Labelle is his last name. And he does the cutest things, like if, animals were to be humans kind of stuff. And he's so physical and does wonderful things. And then there's this one British guy who's absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I watch 10-second videos too. And I have comedians who I follow. I have certain sitcoms that I love. I love Avatar, The Last Airbender, and that comes on at least a couple of times a month when the grandkids are like, Oma, can we watch Avatar? And so there are certain things where I'm just like, just turning off the brain for a while, or I'm just going to entertain myself. Actually, right now, YouTube has some amazing free videos again, and I watched Armageddon last night because it's such a fun movie. I love that movie so much. It's like, dum da da da, we're heroes, Bruce Willis, and it's just hilarious. It's such a great movie, as bad as of the critics as it's getting. It's entertaining, it is fun, I love it. And now I'm gonna watch the Da Vinci Code. That's gonna be my next one. Yeah, I do that for entertainment because you know what? Today was a big work day for me. I had super many different things going on. I had a full list of to-dos. And then I'm gonna watch. And I'm just gonna, after this, it's gonna be like 8:30, something, gonna put a movie on. Yeah. And I'm gonna enjoy the heck out of it. So make sure that you're doing things that feed you. And it doesn't always have to be educational. It does not always have to be high spiritual meditation and service to others. Make sure that you do stuff that feeds you, that makes you happy. And it can be sand pictures and meditations and journaling and painting and drawing and athletics and taking walks and going swimming and whatever you choose. Singing, music, hanging with friends, cooking together. Cooking is a wonderful thing that I love. It's not a chore. It is something that is important. And when I do it right. I do it with intent. I do it with joy. So think about all those things that you love doing that you don't do enough because you're telling yourself that you don't have the time. And I'm going to challenge you to make the time. If you feel that you're wasting time with menial stuff that is simply just making you veg out, and all of a sudden you're looking up, you're like, it's an hour later. Uh-oh, how did that happen? That's the stuff I would like for you to look at. So please make a commitment to yourself right now. Put that into your map right now, that you are going to get more succinct, more conscious, and more aware of where you really spend your time, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. How much time do you spend nourishing yourself? How much time do you spend not nourishing yourself? because ultimately you're just wasting it with not meaningful activities. So please look at that. And that would be the last wish that I would like for you to send out into the universe right now, on the level of, this is what I'm doing for myself over these next few weeks. This is how I nourish myself. This is how I give myself some time, some uplifting energy. This is my maintenance. All right. And now let's bring all of that back again into the here and now, and just breathe that in. And I would like for you to simply, all of us, to imagine gathering right now. And we used to do that actually in the library when we first started gathering in 2005, until I moved down here to Ganap. And we all would hold hands. So just imagine a big circle right now. We're all holding hands together, and we're all supporting each other right now. And then let's send another wave of love, of energy to all of our friends right now who need some extra energy, some extra support. Simply people believing in them. And very much at the forefront, again, our dear, dear friend Lynn, and many other friends that we have right now that are hurting in some way or another, or simply need some extra energy, who need hope, who need more gratitude, who need more peace, who need more trust, who need more aliveness, who need more compassion. Let's just send that to them right now. As a group, in our group consciousness, we can hold that space, and everyone else in our circle who's hurting in some way or another, we send you love right now. And that group energy, that group consciousness, please accept it right now. And so it is. And I can totally feel your hands right now holding my hand. And I'm looking around the circle. And I know many of you personally. So thank you by being by my side for so many years. So many loving faces that I have been looking at for many, many years. And we're still connected in our hearts. And I love seeing you on Facebook. Just in opening my Facebook here a moment ago, I saw several people where I'm like, oh, there you are, my friend. And that's what I love about social media, that we are able to connect in a way that we weren't in the past. Unless I really saw you physically, I wasn't connecting with you. And now I can. What a wonderful gift that is. So I fully tap into that. I hold that place, that energy, and that space for you and all of us. Blessed be, and so it is. Aho. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, wherever you're at. Whenever you're going to watch that, please tap into that circle. Be part of that circle right now, wherever you're at, whenever you're seeing this. And then I believe because the 12th, so that's going to be the 19th. Yes, I still have time on the 19th. I can do another check-in with you all. And I'm going to cook up some other fun topic for you all, okay? So that's part of our 12 days of quantum. So today, on the first day of quantum, we're having a gathering together. That's my gift to you, and I'm going to come up with something fun to share for tomorrow. So please check it out, and I'm going to reach out to you, okay? With that, my dear friends, all the best to you, and blessed be for a wonderful, peaceful, and calm flowing holiday season for you. See you later, my friend. Bye-bye.